What's up, y'all? It's Julian Gordon from the Multifamily Movement, and it is Spiritual Success Sundays. And I've been up early meditating on this message, and I want to share this download with you. Today, I want to talk to you about how to acquire more wealth. Wealth is something that we're all pursuing, whether we're pursuing it consciously or subconsciously. And your wealth is wherever your treasure is. Your treasure is where your heart is. And so, whatever it is that you deeply love is actually your true source of wealth. But of course, in this world, we have a traditional form of measuring wealth because it can be counted, and what get measured is what gets done. And also, oftentimes we use money to define wealth for ourselves. And so that is the first type of wealth. There's two types of wealth I'm going to talk about. The first one is the monetary wealth, and that type of wealth, which is measured in money, which is measured in how much you received, and it's measured in gold. Well, not the U.S. dollar. It's not backed by gold anymore. It's just paper. In fact, it's 70% cotton, so most of us are out here still picking cotton, but that's another sermon. So that type of wealth is the external version, and it can be eaten by moths, it can rust, and it can be robbed, it can be taken away from you. And so that wealth, while we are meant to have it, we're supposed to have life and have it more abundantly. If you read the parable of the talents, we're supposed to be multiplying the resources that we have, and one of those resources is money. And money is just stored energy that we can use to put behind ideas, divine ideas that we want to see more of and manifest inside this world, here on earth, right? So that is the first type of wealth, and that wealth is important, but it's secondary because its true source is actually our inner wealth. And the way I spell that one is WELL-TH, wealth. Wellness being the root of that word. When you see Jesus doing his healings throughout the New Testament, he says, do you believe that I can make you well? And so Jesus does a couple things. Not only does he go through the healing process, which is helping someone with their inner wealth, he's also doing manifestations and creating and multiplying things, whether it's loaves of bread, turning water into wine, etc. Right? And so these are the two forms of wealth. One is earthly and one is inwardly, right? One is heavenly. So the second form of wealth is one that does not rust, it does not go away. Whereas your first type of wealth is measured by what's in your monetary bank. This version of wealth is actually stored in God's memory bank. The good that you do in this world and what you give can never be taken away from you, right? It will always be there, and it only accumulates over time. We transition from this body, nobody will care what was in your bank account. Nobody will care whatsoever. That will not be how you are judged in terms of how you live this life. This life will be determined by how you gave, how loving you were, and and the good that you did in the world, and how you stored up those kind of things. I call it my thank account, right? Some people have bank accounts and they focus on that. I call it my thank account, which is what I'm grateful for, that I was able to receive and that I was able to give, right? It has to be circular. You can't just be giving and not receiving, because then that will stop you from giving, right? Even though our infinite supply is our divine source, however you define that. So these are the two types of wealth. There's WEALTH, which is the monetary, external, outward, below type of wealth. And then there's the WELL-TH, wealth that is within us. And so as you are trying to acquire more wealth, know that the wealth that is inside you, that is inside here, that is where it all derives from. You cannot achieve more external wealth if you have a poverty consciousness. All right. So I'm going to leave you with this treatment that you can use, this mental wealth treatment that I hope blesses you and that you can repeat over and over to yourself throughout the week. All right. I am wealthy. I am wealthy. And that is inside and outside. I'm wealthy on the inside and on the outside. And the wealth consciousness in my mind must manifest itself in due time. The wealth consciousness in my mind must manifest itself in due time. As on earth, it is in heaven.